The topic that Kevin put out was how internet video is changing web video. And as I started to think about it, so first of all, the company I work for, Revision 3, Internet Television Network, we started about 7 years ago. About the same time as YouTube, we started putting stuff up on iTunes, gradually got into YouTube and other places. But we got bought by Discovery Communications about 9 months ago. So the guys at Discovery, TLC, Animal Planet, a broad range of 10 or 12 different US networks. And so I started up a cable net called ZDTV, which became TechTV. It's kind of the genesis of Revision 3. But it's funny to be back in traditional media again, back in the guys who are doing linear TV. And so as I started thinking about, wow, how is internet video really changing traditional television? And I came to the conclusion that, yeah, it's changing it a little bit, but in fact, it's actually not. And the things I want to talk about before I talk about some of the changes that I'm seeing is, the guys at Discovery are actually really good. So most of the things I'm about to talk about don't apply to them. Maybe a couple of the people in there somewhere, but they really get that these are not true. But as I said, look, really there are three dumb things that TV networks believe. And I'm fascinated by the fact that even 7 or 8 years into this internet video revolution, they still believe these things. And it's a great opportunity for all of us who are working in the YouTube space and the online digital video space to take advantage of these trends, kind of anti-trends. Because the more that they believe in it, the more likely that we're going to be successful. And their ways that they try to be successful with web video will not be. So the first dumb thing, number one, that I see these guys believe in is they think that co-viewing is going to save them. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with co-viewing, but co-viewing is when television program and you have your tablet or your phone, and the idea is that you will be interacting with television programs on your device while you're sitting there watching your favorite program. And by doing that, you will bind yourself more to those programs, and people will watch more, and our ratings will go up, and advertisers will love it. The second screen is just an extension of our existing programming, and it's just going to be this wonderful world, and we never have to worry about the internet again. Well, I don't know about you guys, but the way I look at it is that they're all first screens. Think about your own behavior. When you're sitting in front of the television watching something, and you pick up your tablet or your phone, you're not paying attention to that television program anymore, right? You're paying attention to this. You look at the guys up in that picture. None of those guys are paying any attention at all to what's going on any big screen in front of them. Their attention is moved to their portable devices. And so there are a lot of experimentation going on in traditional television, whether it's Viacom or ABC or CBS or NBC, or even Discovery, where they want you to watch their big programs and then download things on here so you can watch and extend and do more. 9 times out of 10, or maybe 29 times out of 30, that doesn't work. The only time I see where this screen can extend the experience, it's really 2 different things. One is big live event programming. The Oscars, for example. If you're watching the Oscars or another award show, you're watching here, you're tweeting here, you're part of that live experience. It extends that live experience. But how many of you guys watch all your television programming live? None of you. The DVR rules. And on demand is the way it goes for everything except those big live experiences. So outside of that, you don't want to interact with your device because you don't want to find out what's going to happen. I was talking to somebody about this a couple days ago. We were talking about Downton Abbey. And he said, I'm not going online when I'm watching Downton Abbey because I haven't watched the season yet. And I don't want to know who dies or whatever happens. I haven't watched it, so I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. But in reality, they're all first screens. The other time that I think it makes sense is on sports. Think about football or baseball. There's 25 seconds between each play in football. What do? Sit there and listen to the announcers? Oh, you go online and check fantasy football. Same thing in baseball. 30 seconds between pitches. That's a great environment where A, you want to watch live, and B, interacting with the screen to get more out of it makes a lot of sense. Everything else, they're all first screens. The other reality, I think, is if people are interacting with their devices while your programming is on, guess what? And I say this to TV execs, and they're like, ew. Like, your programs are boring. If you're not engaging people in, then what's the point? How many of you guys have watched Game of Thrones? So, when you're watching Game of Thrones, are you looking at your device? Probably not, because you want to see what's going to go on. If they're doing their job right, there is no other screen. So I think the important thing to think about this is there are no second screens. Anybody who tells you that they're building a second screen experience, they're full of it, from my perspective. The other thing is just that advertisers, one of the reasons why these second screen experiences are getting a lot of traction in traditional television is because advertisers like it. They think, oh, if I put my ad on the big screen, people are going to interact with my ad on the small screen. Well, that doesn't really happen. I mean, sometimes it does, right? But typically, when the ads come on and you're watching television, if you're not on a DVR and fast forwarding them, then you're doing something else. You're on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or something else. You're not interacting with the ads to create a deeper experience with the ads that you want to skip anyway. So the second thing I find as I talk to television execs about their preconceived notions about their video and web video is that viewers want more premium content. Now, premium is one of those code words, like urban. So premium basically says they want stuff that's more expensive, that's got bigger stars. So when you hear somebody talk about premium and how, oh, you little guys on YouTube are great, but what viewers really want is premium content. When you hear people say that, the translation is, your stuff sucks. And we're a heck of a lot better at making what we make. So the other translation is that we need more stars. We need more people with Q scores. You guys know what a Q score is. It's a likability score. So Kardashians. Everyone loves the Kardashians, right? Traditional television guys are like Kardashians all day long. That's fun. The idea that you put these big stars that, as I put it, they know how to read a teleprompter really well, that they don't have a brain in their heads, that's traditional television. That doesn't work on web original video, on YouTube video. It's those direct connections that work. Right? Premium, to somebody who's building a big television network, means expensive stars, craft services, lots of money on production, and it basically means we gotta lard up the production so I can make my cut. That's what, when you hear somebody say premium content, they're talking about really big productions, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And the budget for some of the shows that get done, 22-minute, half-hour show, millions of dollars per episode. Millions. And what we make our stuff for, it's $100 a minute, it's expensive. So the reality that I see, and I've thought a lot about what defines quality. For me, and for us, quality is a couple different things. Quality is the ability to, well, okay, let's talk about production quality for a minute. And it's got to look decent. You guys are all doing HD, I assume. I'd love to see all the cameras here. Audio quality, in fact, is even more important than video quality. We built a studio, Revision 3, when we launched about 5-6 years ago. And we had some existing programs. We had this great studio. We launched it. But there was a little bit of a reverb in the studio. And all of our fans were sending us emails going, oh my God, you spent all that money on the studio and it sucks. And it wasn't the video quality that sucks, it was the audio. So we took everything down, we put sound batting on all the walls, essentially reinforced blue jeans, and it sounded really good. But so as long as you get that base level of audio quality and video quality, you're in good shape. So I think once you reach that quality level, there are a couple things that define quality. One is the ability to deliver content consistently on a schedule. So if you can deliver something every day at the same time or every week at the same time, and you can build a schedule of reproducible content, that's one. And number two, if you can do that and build an audience and a community and people that want to come back and watch it, that's premium content. Don't let anybody tell you any different. If you talk to anybody at a big network, they're like, oh, your stuff isn't premium. It's like, I have 100,000 subscribers. I put stuff out every other day at 10 a.m. and my audience loves what I do. And by the way, my audience is bigger than your stupid cable show. You're premium content. And so I put the dog riding the skateboard up because that is the preconceived notion of everybody in traditional television. YouTube's just dogs riding skateboards. That's fun once, but nobody wants to watch anything after that. We all know that's not true, but those are the prejudices you have to deal with as you look at that. But it's also the opportunity for us to take advantage of. So it's not production value, it's not cost per minute. It's, can I produce it repeatably? Can I build an audience who wants to come back and watch it? That's it. That's quality. And by the way, this is the real face of quality. So it's all you guys here. It's everybody who's creating stuff and putting it out there and building audiences. You are quality content. Sure, Game of Thrones is great too, but you look at the opening of Game of Thrones, that's bigger than our entire production budget. So, the third dumb thing that I see as I talk to some of these TV execs, which just blows my mind, is that they think that web video is training wheels for television. By the way, have you seen this dog? Bruno, the scooter riding dog? It's hilarious. I can't believe he actually rides that bike. But they think that web video is training wheels for television. And that's the one that gets me the most. Because if we were just trying to build things with hopes that it would go on traditional video, we would all be failing. Think about why. Your traditional television program, the traditional networks in general were designed to make you remember to watch a program every week. That's why we have shows that start on the hour, on the half hour. Thursdays at 8, watch Cops. That's why we do that. Because in the world before DVRs, the only way to get you to watch that program was to show up at the same time every week and watch that program. And then to keep you going, because we have these commercial breaks. Remember, a half-hour show is only 22 minutes of video. You got a little video, then you have a cliffhanger, and then you have your commercial break, then a little more, and a cliffhanger, and a commercial break. The 3 acts or the 6 acts that you build for a half hour or an hour program are designed for the limitations of television the way it was developed 30 years ago. That's an old medium. Internet video is a very new medium. We're figuring out ways to tell stories, to engage audiences, to build communities in an environment that's entirely different from television of 30 years ago. We can put things out that are 2 minutes long or 3 minutes long. We can put things out that are 3 hours long with no breaks. If you can be quality and build community and do it repeatedly, that's awesome. But you see these television execs, and now they've gone back, started working with these guys back in traditional television, they're out looking at web video and like, oh yeah, that's really good, we can put that on TV. Now there are a couple of success stories, I will admit, right? Annoying Orange is doing great, so happy for them. Fred managed to make the leap, but most of the time, what works on that medium doesn't work otherwise. And it's a new medium. When radio turned into television, the first thing they did is they would take a radio plane and stick a camera in front of it. When the first movies came out, they would just stick that movie camera in and shoot it. There's a great movie called Battleship Potemkin. And the beauty of that movie, very old, I don't even know, 1910, 1920, they moved the camera. They realized that they could move the camera. And there's this great shot of these stairs and they're moving the camera. That was a revolution. So we're still figuring our new medium out. We're still figuring out how we move the camera. But if we're binding ourselves with the idea that we're just going to create a TV program that we got to put on linear TV, we're all going to fail. And when I look at it, so you guys will develop it your own way and you're far more creative than I am in this, but when I look at it, I see there's really 3 elements of what we do at Revision 3. And we borrow from 3 different mediums. So, from television and video, we take sight, sound, motion, and emotion. Nothing tells a story better than video. Nothing sucks you in that way. But, because of the way we shoot, because of the way people watch, there's an intimacy in the video that we do that you don't get with television. It's really the intimacy of talk radio. I don't know if any of you are Howard Stern fans, or if you drive to work and you've got sports radio you listen to, but those announcers on radio have a direct connection with you. You're friends with them. Just like as you're putting your stuff out there and building your audiences are your friends. So those of you who are going to walk around playlist, and your audience is here. People come up to you, and you're their friend. Traditional television has a lot of barriers between what goes in front of the screen and the people who watch it. You got cameras, you got teleprompters, you got agents, you got you don't break the wall. You're off. It's entirely different with what we're building. So sight, sound, motion, emotion of video, the intimacy of talk radio, and then the ability to go deep on a topic and do it in a way that makes money that you get from special interest magazines. To me, that's a thread of what we're building. Although I don't think we're there, we haven't figured out what it is yet. But we have the ability to engage audiences more deeply
the way special interest magazines did for a long time, and do it in a way that makes money that you can't do on TV. So when we launched ZDTV, which is a cable network we put out there for geeks, we built great audiences. They were engaged. We put geeks in front of the camera like me. I'd never been on TV before. I had my own show. But once we got rated by Nielsen, all of our shows had no ratings. We had great engaged communities, loved our stuff, but we didn't get a rating. So advertisers wouldn't support us. So we had to do reruns of things like the Thunderbirds and things like that to get people to watch. It was terrible. But that's what happens when you go on traditional TV. That's why TV looks the way it is. So it really is a new medium. You know, one of these things is not like the other. But the interesting thing that I found, and that we're starting to do with the guys at Discovery, is you don't want to go out and look at all these great people who are building great communities and shows and environments on YouTube and other places and try and put them on television. But the reverse works. If you have a concept that you think is going to make a good TV show, you can actually take that concept and try it on YouTube or other web video environments. Now, not to try and build a success there, not to try and build a big community and audience, but to test the concept. It's the world's best focus group because you can start going out to the audiences you want, bringing them in, and then interacting with them directly. And when I talk to traditional television execs, I tell them that our world is very different. So the world of traditional TV is big bang media. When you create a program for television, you do 13 episodes or 26 episodes, and you think about it, and you write it, and you build this big production model, and you create these shows, and you might put them in a little focus group to see if they're doing okay. But basically, you do all 13 or all 26 episodes. They're all done in the can. You have your launch day. You do lots of advertising. You throw it out there. And then you pray. You pray that people will watch and like it. And you pray that the audience will come back. That's entirely different from what we do. What we do is more iterative, right? You don't do 13 or 26 episodes and hope that someone's going to like it when you shovel them all out there. Although, that's an interesting idea, which I'll get to in a minute. What we do is, and we do this a lot, we put stuff out there, put the first version out, get some feedback, put another version out, get some feedback. It's a very iterative loop, and that iterative development for television execs is something they have no concept of. So we're putting this stuff out and starting to learn from it, and eventually some of the stuff that we're doing will end up on television, but we go into it thinking it will be a TV show first. And we're just using the web to try and develop it. Thanks, Matt, for shutting the doors. Yeah, do the other one. This is not a competition. I did tell Shay Carl that he's dead to me. So, excuse me, those are the three lies that I hear a lot that I think we're still trying to overcome. And props to the guys at Discovery because they bought us, they're learning from us, and we've been able to work through a lot of these issues with them. But you will see this if and when you work with some of the linear TV guys. So unfortunately, we're not changing them as much as I wish we were. But there are some areas that are changing. So real changes are happening. Web video, internet, digital distribution is fundamentally changing television. And actually, nobody says it better than these guys.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
This thing starts at 7:15. I just need to find my keys, and then we need to leave.
What is this thing we're going to anyway?
It's Sarah's birthday. We're going to Screen Door. You already knew that.
Don't we go to these things like every week, it seems?
Yeah. It's her birthday. She's my friend, okay? So
What is she, 9?
You know what? That's not funny. You're just being a baby.
Why don't we watch this Battlestar Galactica thing I just got? Season 1. I heard really good things about it.
And then I volunteered that you made something. I was like, this is such a great show.
Let's watch this.
Okay, listen. 1 episode, and then we go to dessert.
Okay, we'll definitely make it. Maybe 40 minutes tops. This will be good. I heard really good things about it. It's not just regular science fiction. It's actually good.
I love you.
Okay, so... Wow.
Okay, it was good.
That's so well done.
You're trying to watch one more, you think?
I think so.
That is crazy.
That's amazing.
I just texted Sarah happy birthday, so that's done. I have PJs, then we'll watch one more.
Okay, one more. So good. How is it so good?
What time is it?
It's not good, dude. How did that even happen?
Well, we just stayed up all night.
Do you want to watch more?
My vacation day starts now.
So intense.
Oh my god, so good. Okay, let's just watch the first episode of season 2.
Oh, my legs are going to sleep.
I really feel like I have a bladder infection, but I'm just gonna get antibiotics after the next episode. Yeah, okay, thanks. Bye. So, I lost my job. Service shut up notice. Okay, you're right.
But yeah, nothing actually says it better about binge viewing than that, right? And binge viewing is an amazing new phenomenon that we start to see where you put a whole bunch of episodes out and people watch it all the way through and they can't stop. That's more unscripted than non-scripted, but this is a fascinating change to television, period. Look what happened with Netflix when they came out with House of Cards, right? It's my House of Cards. People watched all the way through, and instead of releasing one after the other, they said, we're going to take all 13 or 12 episodes and just shove them out there. And it really changes the way people think about television. And here's one of the ways it's changing linear TV. So, Portlandia, if you haven't seen it, it's hilarious, it's on AMC. I saw the head of AMC talk about this, and said this, and Walking Dead, for example, what they do is when a current season is done, traditional television is like, I'm not going to put it on the internet for years. But they're really smart at AMC, like we put it out right away. And we get people sucked in. So when the first episode of the new season comes out, their ratings go through the roof because everybody wants to see what happens. So really using this binge viewing to your benefit allows you to really drive the views of that next version up. So this binge viewing habit, or whatever, I think is applicable to what we do too, especially on the scripted side. So, Video Game High School, I have no idea what they're going to do when they do season 2. But you think about something like that, where it's a multi-episodic thing, why not shove them all up? And then get everyone really psyched about season 3. So I'm fascinated by binge viewing and the way that our digital distribution is changing that. So the last thing I really want to talk about is multiple screens and the way that video habits are changing. So, question, what's the hottest book over the last year? 50 Shades of Grey, that's right. Why? It's porn, I know. But the thing about 50 Shades of Grey is it never would have been the top book over the last year if it weren't for the Kindle, right? Because on the Kindle, nobody knows you're reading porn. They think, I'm reading something really intellectual. In the old days of books, you would get that book and it would have, some hunky girl on it. She'd be ripping her, nobody wants people to see you're watching that or reading that. But with the Kindle, nobody knows you're reading smut. Same thing happens on our tablets, right? So on tablets, when we watch stuff on our tablets, nobody knows what we're watching. And I think the tablet itself, and I only have a 7-inch version, it's easier to travel with. The 10-inch one is even better. But this is the paperback book of televisions. And this is changing viewing more than probably anything else over the next 5 to 10 years. Because, a bunch of different reasons. First of all, it's so personal and intimate. Whether you're watching traditional television, the stuff that we're doing, it's just a great experience. The other thing is, it's actually a better screen than the TVs in our house. So I don't know, how many of you have an iPad 3? So, iPad 3 with the retinal display and all the pixels, more pixels on that screen than on any HD TV that you can buy except for the new 4K versions coming out, which aren't even out yet. So try this next time you go home. Take your tablet, sit down on your couch, your big screen TV over there, put your tablet in your lap, and then lift it up at the same distance from your eyes as that TV on the wall. And notice that it takes up more of your field of view than that TV. This actually offers, in many cases, a better viewing experience for one person than that big screen TV on the wall. So more and more we will see people consuming video content on these tablets as they become the paperback books of our video viewing experience. Doesn't mean the big screen TV goes away. It's a great thing for watching with multiple people, but it does change What happens? The other thing is it lets you watch all those programs that you never wanted anyone to know you were watching. You guys know this program, Hurl, right? It's a program, a game show where you get people to throw up. It was on G4. Well, you wonder why G4 is no longer a network. But some people really like this show. Or Honey Boo Boo, right? Everybody's favorite guilty pleasure, Honey Boo Boo. Nobody needs to know. You could be watching PBS. Nobody needs to know. Or this is actually a show on one of our networks, Wives with Knives. I don't want people to know I'm watching that, but it's a guilty pleasure. So I think, just to go back to the real interesting thing is, size does not matter when it comes to screens. And by the way, it's multiple screens. So the other important thing that when I talk to a lot of traditional television execs, like, oh, I want to create something for the phone, and I want to create another thing for the tablet, and I want to create something else for the big screen. Well, that's bull. You guys all know, if you want to interact with one of your favorite hosts on YouTube or your favorite television program, and you're walking around, all you got is your phone, fine, I'll watch it on here. I talk to some of these execs, they're like, I can't believe people watch movies on their phone. Why not? It's got a great screen. They got nothing else to do. So size doesn't matter. It's making sure that your stuff looks great across all these screens, because in the end, it's all about engaging communities around your content. Whenever someone wants to hang out with you, you want to make sure that you're where they want to hang out on the devices that they have with them. So it's best screen available, not biggest, but it's also being across all screens. So that's it. I got a show to go do. That's Honey Boo Boo's mom, by the way. There's a couple minutes left, not much, but if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But it's going to be interesting to watch web video and traditional come together, because you will see, look, Discovery buying Revision 3 was really the first one. You're going to see a lot more of that happen. I mean, look, Time Warner invested in Maker. Fox and Style Hall, right? Anyway, you'll see a lot more, and it will change traditional television. Not very fast, but it will change, yeah.
Where do you see the future of monetization on video?
It's a really good question. How are people going to make money on all this stuff? What's the future look like there? I think ad rates will continue to get better. I think we'll see more ad density on the stuff that we do, mid-rolls. But in the end, the interruption model of advertising is going to go away. Think about TiVo. We fast forward through ads. The pre-roll is a painful interruption for people. So what I think is going to be more interesting on the ad-supported video side is more on the native in-stream advertising, where you've got a stream of content that you create that's all editorially pure. And one of those things that you do that month, you work with a brand on to create something that has the look and feel of what you do and the editorial sense of what you do. Very clear, you're not pulling the wool over people's eyes, but it's very clear that you are introducing a brand into the conversation that you've got with your community and doing it in a way that makes sense. To me, that's the future of that. I don't know. I'm hoping we figure some paid stuff out too. So we'll see where that goes. YouTube's launching their new, paid product. Yeah.
Do you think it'd be possible to still make it without a network sell? Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. You do not need a network to be successful. Now, as you build up, one of the things that we're good at on the network side is actually, and one of the great things about merging with Discovery, our sales force used to go out and we would struggle to get meetings with brands. We were working with Ford and Budweiser and other people. But now, I've got this big sales group. Walmart wants to spend millions and millions of dollars at Discovery across everything, and they're bringing us into the conversation. So that helps. But, and if you want to join a network and it makes sense, do it, but you can do it alone. Am I done? I see you walking, I'm done. You guys, thank you so much. I will put at 11:30. John from Jogwheel is going to be over there, so if you like microwave this, you might want to go see him. Otherwise, enjoy your time here. Thanks a lot, guys.